Oh man.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up?
Grant with that jump shot's off. Long rebound run down by Hodges, and here's the King. That's a three.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Hey, this promises to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait.
Are you kidding me? Do you believe it?
Let's see. You have the play-in series and round. You have a baseball player cursing out a city and other things we'll talk about. Let's everybody.
Let's go to where we really want to talk about. We know what we want to talk about. Do we? Don't we?
All right. Good morning, everybody.
Welcome
to Snowman in the Morning with Gold Johnson. I'm Gold Johnson. Brian is still convalescing, doing well, I may add. I think some of you may have heard him yesterday and seen him yesterday. But look what we have here joining me.
Yes.
Mr. Wise El Jefe joining me again today. How you doing, man?
Oh, you know what? I am feeling better. I called off of work today because I didn't want to be in there coughing and sneezing on people. But since I have a studio at home, I can still do the show. So, hey, let me do the show.
All right. Okay.
Get some work done.
Definitely. All right. Let me set the table real quick. So, along with play-in rounds that are going to be played tonight and tomorrow and Thursday and Friday, we also have some possible overreactions with Major League Baseball this past weekend. We have two coaches actually joining Brian Flores in his racial discrimination suit against the NFL.
Yes. And
there's other things we're going to talk about. In fact, we are definitely going to breach the subject of Frank Vogel. That's
what I'm waiting for. That's what I wanted to hear.
All right. So why don't we get started on this? All right. So for those who are unaware, under a rock, this was pretty much known probably ever since the All-Star break. It was a done deal going into the last week of the regular season, but the Los Angeles Lakers officially fired Frank Vogel. Now, he happened to have found out in a press conference
Sunday
night
before he was actually fired.
The day before he was actually fired, where I loved the comment that he said when he was asked. He said, quote, "They haven't told me," close quote. I just thought it was funny. It just fit the dysfunctional bent of the Lakers. I love it. But I will let you talk extemporaneously on this subject, sir. What are your thoughts?
Because first of all, Frank Vogel was just the fall guy. He was a fall guy.
Mm-hmm.
And some analyst was talking about it. Oh, he should have been able to do the job that they give. I'm like, and I'm thinking, I'm listening to this analyst, and I'm like, dude, you try to coach a senior citizen team like that and win. And then Rob Pelinka comes and says, it's all on me. I built this roster. It was my fault. So then why don't you lose your job?
That's a really good question.
I don't understand that. You want to listen to LeBron and AD when they say, hey, we want Westbrook, when you had, again, last year, we talked about it yesterday. You had an opportunity to get DeMar, get Yield, keep Caruso and KCP.
I don't understand that.
But yeah, you want to listen to LeBron because he says, yo, we need Brody. We want Brody over here. And then LeBron is like, and then when LeBron interviewed LeBron, he's like, oh, that's up to them. They let them make the decisions. Well, after you made these screwed up decisions, of course let him make the decisions. He can't mess it up any more than you did.
Oh, my goodness.
So, Frank Vogel, my apologies, brother. They set you up, brother. Fail.
Oh, they most certainly did.
Did they? And they know you're a defensive coach, and they gave you some of the slowest ass players that, like I said, they're probably all collecting AARP now. And so And so Frank Vogel, I know you'll get a job somewhere else because you're a heck of a coach.
Yeah. Yeah, he proved that when he was in Indiana. He is a great coach.
Yeah, but damn.
Look, let me set the table further. So if you want to join in on this conversation, and it doesn't matter if it's Frank Vogel, NFL, NBA, NHL, doesn't matter. Boxing, it doesn't matter. Even wrestling. Come on down to youtube.com. We are live right now. Go to / Snowman in the Morning 50. That's Snowman in the Morning 50. Snowman in the Morning 520. And you can be just like my man, Sick Diggy. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Sick Diggy. What's going on, brother?
All right. And he, of course, dropping that fire already. He says he's a defensive coach, talking about Frank Vogel, not a miracle worker.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. He is no miracle worker, and especially with the roster you constructed from. Seriously, man. Like, he didn't create the roster. He didn't make it happen. Oh, Mr. Snowman.
Yeah, so we were talking about this yesterday, my man and I. So joining us in this conversation is the other half of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson, Mr. Brian Snow. All right, sir. Frank Vogel's on the table. Let loose. Spit it like you feel it.
I've had a full evening to digest one of the worst secrets in sports.
Yeah, there was a bad secret.
Oh, man.
Because this secret was out 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've talked about it. Dude was hired to be fired as soon as he put his John Hancock on the dotted line saying that he was the Lakers head coach. The clock was ticking for his replacement to happen.
Bro, listen, Monty Williams and Tyronn Lue turned this job down.
That should tell you something.
Yo, who turns down a Lakers job? Nobody. But so when these two coaches turn down,
Monty Williams and Tyronn Lue said, "Oh hell no."
Oh Lord! Wait, hold on. So you
fake championship happened, and after that fake championship happened, Jason Kidd said, "Oh hell no, I'm out of here."
So basically, gentlemen, you all are saying that all of them, Monty Williams, Tyronn Lue, and you said that Jason Kidd too. You think all three of them said,
Bitch, please.
to the Lakers? This is what
I'll do it for you. Hell no. To the no. Hell to the no.
This is what is messed up about the whole thing. This is what's messed up about the whole thing. You have the opportunity to not only be the head coach of LeBron James, which look, we all can take turns taking pot shots at this situation, knowing that it is a no man's land working relationship. But surprisingly, in the NBA circles, that is a prestigious honor, which I don't know how or why, but it is one. And not only do you get to deal with that pressure cooker, you also get to deal with an organization that wants to handpick and hand select your successors, coaching staff. And I'm thinking to myself, who with a big name in their right mind want to have that job? Who? I did get that. Okay. Thank you, Wise.
Who does that? I don't have a coaching bone in my body, and I wouldn't take that job.
Rob Pelinka does that. That's who does that. Who? Yeah.
I'm like, you dictating to a head coach his staff? How is that possible?
Okay, I gotta sit up for this. Hold on. I
Look,
got
brother,
stuff for this.
cook.
We've
We'll
talked
roll out the
about
red
this.
carpet, let you cook, homie. Cook. Before you do, Six says,
Okay.
"How come Snowman has Wise Headface Loco as his audio avatar?"
See, he didn't take time to change it.
Why
That's
think
all
I've been in
it
bed the last 10 days?
Before you take off, bro.
I mean,
Ryan says, "Good morning, gentlemen. I see the new day has arrived to answer the question of who will take the Lakers coaching job." Correct, sir.
was. Yes, sir.
Oh, and go ahead, man.
somehow I think the Lakers, well, I'll say it the way I need to say it, suckered
Okay.
Frank Vogel in the coaching LeBron James. Nothing about the rest of the team, nothing about the franchise.
Yeah.
We need you to shut LeBron James up. We need you to turn into Eric Spoelstra.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, as much as I respect Frank Vogel, he is not no Eric Spoelstra.
Agreed.
Let's get that
Not
straight.
in the league.
Because
Agreed.
Eric
He's not.
Spoelstra is a Pat Riley disciple.
Yeah.
And Pat Riley don't play that shit.
That dude lives in the video room. Yes.
Yeah. So LeBron wasn't going to call the shots like he did.
Frank Vogel is a defensive guy. Period.
Yeah.
Yes.
We saw his achievements with Orlando and Indiana.
Right.
You mean to tell me that Frank Vogel didn't see the bullshit riding around there and felt like he was a caged animal for 4 years?
I'm sure he felt that way. I'm sure he did feel that way, but gentlemen, I think we are all of a certain mature of age now. You know, when you walk into situations and you think that you could be the guy that could turn around something that's bad, or turn around something that's faulty, or turn around something that is antithetical to what you feel as though it should look like. I really believe that is what Vogel thought.
This is faulty.
Well, yeah, but I really believe
This is faulty.
Yeah, but I really believe this is what Vogel thought, and then to top it all off, you had probably Jeannie. I wouldn't even say it was Rob Pelinka. You probably had Jeannie Buss, the governor of the Lakers, whispered to Vogel's ear, "You get to coach LeBron James. How exciting is that?" And I believe
on that point,
that was the hook for him.
Right there. On that sentence right there, I'd have run like hell. I'd have pulled a Bill Belichick.
But you know that's what it was. It was to me the big hook was he gets to coach LeBron James, and yeah, you could say he's part of the Lakers lore, and of course he will always be part of the Lakers lore because he brought a championship to the team. But that had to be the hook. Otherwise, you'd have to look at that franchise and say, "Oh Lord, have mercy." The front office knows not what you're doing, and now you got a player who acts like a GM too. No. This whole situation has Real Housewives of LA written all over it. No, sir.
All right. So hold on. So
that whole team was a housewives. That whole team was a housewives of LA.
Like how is it? How is it that when Kobe and Shaq were here, right? We're in LA. They didn't dictate. They let management do what they might have voiced their opinion, but management did the right things.
Yeah, they
right?
voiced their opinion, but yeah, they got out the way. They got
now you get LeBron, and he just tells you, "No, we want Brody. That's it. We want Brody, and you need to sign Melo at the same time." And so, like, if I was Rob Pelinka, I would have been like, "Yo, dude, I got some things in the work that you might like. So, chill. Let me do my job." No, it was like, "Yo, we want Brody." And you get Brody, and now his reasoning was, "Oh, we was hurt. We didn't get to play a lot together." But even when y'all played together, y'all sucked.
Look, Brody, if you are watching this program, son, please
stop the cat,
son. I'm sorry. Go
Thank
ahead, bro.
you. Thank you. The two players that should have been signed by the Lakers without LeBron opening his mouth and putting his foot in it should have been DeMar DeRozan and Buddy Hield. Not Carmelo Anthony, and certainly not Russell Westbrook,
And they would not have given up.
because DeMar DeRozan wanted to come home.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Here's what makes it even worse, bro. So they would have the chance to have another hometown person wanting to come home, and they wouldn't give up the integral pieces that they need in Caruso and KCP for defensive purposes.
Yes.
You would have those two and would not have to trade away product. So
and give up first round picks.
And then give up picks to boot. I'm like, this is ridiculous. So ridiculous. Now I agree with you, Sick. Like Wise the Hefe said, Frank Vogel was a setup for failure. Yes, he was. He was a fall guy. No question.
Yeah,
Sick
well,
also said,
yeah,
I wonder who
well.
convinced Mr. Vogel to sign up for this fiasco.
Well, Sick, when you're unemployed and the Lakers come knocking, you answer. I'm not going to deny that. I'm a realist. If the Lakers come calling,
Not me.
you pick up the phone.
Not me.
Now, when they tell you you will be listening to what LeBron tells you to do, then that might be a different situation. But when the Lakers call, you pick up because it's the Lakers.
Well, I think you just said it, Wise. I think that's what Frank was told. I think Rob told him that one came from Rob. Well, the organization goes as LeBron goes, so tread lightly. Sick also says Vogel should have used Della Reese's favorite quote from Harlem Nights in that very moment.
Tread lightly, my ass. I get a call from the Lakers. I get a call from the Lakers. Who's on the team? LeBron. No, thank you. Don't call me again.
Oh Lord! So you be like the
Because I guarantee you there would have been some fights,
wait, what's that?
and one of us would have walked off.
Yeah. So what's at the beginning of Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt where dude said F you pay me?
Yeah.
I think that's what Vogel should have said in terms of, okay, I want what I want. Whatever you dictate, it's not going to matter. F that, F you, pay me. You want me to coach this team? Let me coach this team. Oh my gosh.
80 and LeBron hurt.
Period.
F you, pay me.
Period.
Carmelo and everyone on the bench are 50 years old. F you, pay me.
Zick says LeBron is so self-centered. His theme song is Myers. It's all about me. I guess that makes Russell Westbrook the Cisco to this mess.
Damn, Sick, don't disrespect Cisco like that, man.
Well, Westbrook dresses pretty much like Cisco, but
You know,
He does.
I'm sorry.
okay.
I like Cisco. I'm sorry.
Like I
Go
said,
ahead.
I've had the night to think about this.
Okay. What's your thoughts?
I've had the night to think about this whole kept secret. Frank Vogel was set up to fail. That's obvious.
Yeah,
Of course.
it's not even a question.
The Lakers were set up to fail because they signed LeBron 4 years ago.
Again, not a question.
Obvious to me and whomever pays attention to basketball.
Mm-hmm.
But you turn down a guy that wants to come home and DeMar DeRozan,
That makes
and
no
you
sense.
turn down a young superstar and Buddy Hield,
And-
because LeBron said we want Brody. Really?
And
Brody has not learned to shoot the basketball in 15 seasons.
what makes it worse is that both Hield's and DeRozan's game fits LeBron's a whole lot better than Westbrook's does.
Because neither needs the ball in their hand.
Right.
Fits perfectly.
And then you don't
Fits
lose.
perfectly.
Again.
Now
Then
you got DeRozan carrying the Bulls to the playoffs.
Well, yeah. See, your team benefited from it.
Yeah.
Your team benefited because you got two pieces that could have went to the Lakers. You got Alex Caruso and you got DeMar DeRozan. Those two pieces could have been on the Lakers had they went the route Magic had told them to go. Because Magic called, and because Magic was on first take, and he said, "Listen, the Mars people called me and say, yo, Magic,
we want to come home.
We want to come home."
Yeah.
So what Magic do? Call Rob. What Rob do? Probably didn't answer the phone and hung up on Magic. Nah, I don't want to hear this shit. And I got LeBron on the other line. Hold on, Magic. Oh, you want Brody? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, we're gonna get you Brody. I'm sorry, Magic. We can't sign tomorrow. Like, what is wrong with you? You give up Buddy Hield, who's a budding superstar, because he has talent, but he's in no man's land in Sacramento. You got DeMar DeRozan, who right now is one of the top players right now because he's led the Bulls to the playoffs.
Right.
You keep Contavious Caldwell Pope and Alex Caruso. This would have been a no-brainer.
But it goes to show
this would have been a top four. This would have been a top 14.
Yeah,
this is what would have happened.
Yeah, but it just goes to show how little regard a person like LeBron James has for the role players that a team, a championship team for sure, needs to have. Because if you have those pieces, you don't necessarily need the help that every bronze sexual known to man that you, Wise, you, Brian, and I have heard. Well, LeBron needs help. LeBron needs help. Well, that's what role players are.
Even when he had the big three in Miami, you still had players. You got Haslam. You had all these other pieces.
Mike Miller.
You had
Shane
all these
Battier.
Yes.
Mike Miller. Udonis Haslam.
Right.
Yeah.
Shane
You had
Battier.
pieces. So now you go to
Allen.
You go to LA and what your bench is Carmelo Anthony, Dwight Howard. Maybe that was an all-star team in 2010. Maybe. And their thing is, we have maybe 5 of the top 75 players, right? But that was back then. Do you have 5 of the top 75 players right now in your team? No. Just 2. Maybe 10 years ago, if this team would have been together,
no,
you would have had 5 of the top 75 players. But like I said yesterday, I love Melo. He's no longer a top 75 player.
Not even close.
Dwight Howard and his whatever he does, is not a top 75 player anymore. He's not the defensive stalwart he was.
Whatever he was.
I don't even know the rest of that.
Dwight Howard should never have left Orlando.
Yeah, but he did.
He thought he would go the Shaq route and go to LA, and that first time around didn't work.
Man, sick, you give me great feels. New day rocks. New day rocks. New day rocks. Somebody break up Francesca, aka Xavier Woods trombone. He also says, Wise El Jefe, my bad, fam. Unleash the Dragon was part of my 2000. Still, the analogy is quite accurate.
Yeah, it is sick. It is.
He also goes on to say, I'd happily trade in the current Lakers roster for the team Dennis Rodman brought to North Korea. And he also said, simply put, LeBron in everybody's way. It's in everybody's way and won't allow anybody to outshine or upstage him. I will challenge you, Mr. Snow. The last statement that I just read of Sig Dickey's. Please try to find the lie in any of that. You hear the silence, ladies and gentlemen? That means a lie can't be found. This is what upsets me about this whole scenario. You saw as soon as the season went south, and for me, in my opinion, the season went south for them as soon as the calendar turned to November. As soon as the season went south, they wanted to throw Vogel under the bus. And then people wanted to have him fired as soon as the All-Star break. Well, he needs to go. And you hear it You hear from analysts, he needs to go. He needs to go. Well, he's not the issue nor the problem. I mean, there's so many other issues. One of them being Westbrook.
Westbrook.
I'm sorry, Westbrook. Yes, he's one of the problems, and he's such a problem that you have this issue here. If Tupac would still be alive if Westbrook was a shooter to try to shoot him. That's how bad of a shooter Westbrook is. I mean, it's unreal that you have a guy who is self-centered with the ball, another guy who's self-centered with the ball, and he can't hit the side of a barn. Another guy who just simply can't stay on the court. He didn't even play half of the regular season this year.
45.
I'm sorry.
45 games.
He played barely over. I'm sorry. Thank you, sir. He played barely over half of the regular season this year. And you have a guy who you would like for you to be the sixth man, but the offensive black hole, and I do like Carmelo, but the offensive black hole that he is, he'll be wonderful one night, and he'll be persona non grata the next 2 or 3. And then you have people who just simply want to laud LeBron's efforts, saying, look at this guy, 37 years old. He's averaging 30 points a game. We have never seen this. You know why you ain't never seen it before? Because he knew that nobody else was going to give him that point production on a consistent basis like him. And that I will not fault LeBron on. Now, what I will fault LeBron on the court stuff, I mean, is he would not, like Six said, he would not let somebody else be the guy, because this is his time in his career. He needs to be a Robin. He needs to be a Robin. This has nothing to do with his talent. This has everything to do with having the mentality of the team comes before me. And he does not have that mentality, unfortunately.
Yeah, he don't. Far from it. And it's crazy because, like, again, you want to put, like, Frank Vogel, people, there was Anna's calling for his head, yes. But how are you going to call for his head when he has no control over what roster he has? You bring him this roster that really doesn't have any young players to help build and to help build into these role players that you need. Instead, you go into the recycling bin and recycle some players that they were great in their prime, but are now former shells of themselves.
Right. Yeah.
So, and then you expect him to win with this? How is this possible?
Yeah.
That's like I don't understand. It's like me expecting to win a Major League Baseball game with a single A roster.
Right. Yeah, it's utterly impossible.
It could happen once in a while.
Oh yeah, it can happen once in a while, but I mean,
for the most part, that Major League team is gonna whip their butt.
Right. Yeah. For the most part, you're probably gonna lose 100 games. So no, and that is what wonderful analogy wise. That to me is what the Lakers put Vogel through. It was an unwinnable situation this year. It was barely a winnable situation his first year. And when he finally got a chance to, breathe, the bubble championship happened. And then when he tried to do what he wanted to do the year before this one, it was met with a lot of drama then too. And it's like, well, you all just simply do not want this man to cook. It's as if you want the superstar to run the team in the boardroom, on the sideline, and on the court, and the coach forget him. And that just can't work. Not with this team. Not with this team. And like you said, all of them have to apply for AARP cards. They had to paint the handicap sign in the paint. And I'm surprised he didn't fit the whole team with walkers to get on the court. This team is old, slow, could not shoot, and they had the possibility to solve all that. But you mentioned it, Wise, to your wonderful point. Because of LeBron, they decided to pass up on that opportunity, and they have no one to blame themselves.
Yes, they do. And when I seen both Rob Pelinka's interview, I'm looking at it I'm just looking and like, dude, you still have a job. How is that possible? How? You just admitted on TV that this is all your debacle. This is your fault. So how is Jeannie Buss letting you keep your job?
That is a mystery unto itself, because I would think that this would to me was a slam dunk opportunity to say to Rob Pelinka, yeah, you're not the man to get the job done.
No.
We need to have somebody who actually could look at LeBron and say, look, I know what the team needs. You deal with the court. I deal with the front office stuff. That's that. Pelinka's not that guy, obviously.
Yep.
And it's a shame. Six says, prime example of his point earlier. Look at his reboot, talking about LeBron's reboot of Michael Jordan's classic movie, Space Jam. And Pepe Le Pew was canceled.
They need to cancel LeBron right now.
Yeah. And he went on to say, well, at least Frank Vogel got out of there with a championship ring. Yeah,
that's the positive of it. He's a champion now. He can actually walk around with a championship ring. So yeah, that's the positive.
I'm happy that he does. I'm happy because
even though some of us might say it might be an asterisk next to that championship, but that's just some of us.
Look, I'm not the biggest fan of that year either, but they played it.
Yeah, they got the championship. They're champions. Yes, I'll stop playing, but
I mean, I don't know what else to say on that. He's too much, man. Oh, good Lord. I'm having a good time. We are rolling along. Let me reset, and we're going to bring another subject to the floor.
Nobody diving. Nobody.
No, not that one. Here we go.
In case you bronzexuals don't know by now, LeBron has never been the face of the NBA, although people want to claim he's the face of the NBA. When there's a fellow in Oakland, California that kind of snatched the mantle from Kobe by hitting a three in his face, what impact has LeBron James had on the NBA? I'll answer that for you. Nothing.
Jabroni. Jabroni.
Welcome back to Snowman in the Morning.
So the play-in round begins tonight. And I just have this to say before I begin. If you happen to have seen this man, please report him to Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. It is so imperative that we need to know where this guy has been for the last 10 months. He has not been on the court. He hasn't been cited anywhere else. We need to know where he is. You
won't be seeing him in the play-in, so...
Yeah, won't see him to play in. They're saying he might be in for the playoffs. So if we can see him in any other place besides the bench or in Philadelphia 76ers front office, please report him to Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. We would love to know where this man has been, because it is criminal that this guy has been stealing money.
Technically, he didn't get paid. He didn't. Technically, he didn't get paid, bro. 76ers are holding $20 million. That's why he's suing them, because he wants that $20 million.
Well then I'm applying that to the $16 million that the Nets have paid him. Oh, all right. So speaking of the Nets, tonight they will tip off the play-in portion of the season as they host the Cavaliers. Tip-off is at 7 Eastern at the Barclays at your old stomping grounds, Brooklyn. Stand up.
Yes, sir.
Now, the plus for the Cavaliers is you have a team in the Nets that the chemistry is not all quite there, in my opinion. It's helter-skelter. It's skittish. You have makings of a good team, but then you have the makings of an explosive powder keg. But you look at your own team and there's some hard questions. There's some injury issues. And now there is confidence issues because this team was in 4th and they dropped all the way to 8th in a matter of about a month and a half. So I'm not sure if I'm the Cavaliers, if I roll up into Brooklyn, then I'm confident that if I was a member of the Cavaliers, that I could beat the Nets. Not with the way my team looks.
We discussed this yesterday. No Evan Mobley. He's been key.
That hurts.
He's been key. He is one of the reasons that they were 4th a month ago, or so, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And when he went down, they went down hard.
Yeah.
And so, if he's not playing, it doesn't look so good for them because he is a key cog to that team. That is Rookie of the Year to me. Him or Scotty Barnes. Him or Scotty Barnes are Rookies of the Year to me because those two have performed great this year.
Right
now, with Brooklyn, if Kyrie and Durant, go ahead, B.
Go ahead, bro.
Get the hell out of Brooklyn.
He wants to cast and beat Brooklyn. You want the break.
Bad.
You want the breaks to be beaten off of Brooklyn by the Cavaliers. Okay.
Yeah.
I want the hell to be beaten out of Brooklyn.
I know.
Unfortunately, I don't
it's
think
not gonna happen. Yes, we know it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Because you legitimately have 2 of the top 50 players in the NBA with Durant and Kyrie.
Right.
With Durant possibly being the best player on the planet. I said possibly, Brian. I didn't say it was facts.
No, the wrong was Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie. No, it's not Durant. No. He's big on Durant.
Listen, you got to give. Yes, Kyrie is Kyrie. He is special. And so, but you can't.
I'm going to hold my tongue.
You cannot deny his talent, though. As much as I'm not a Brooklyn fan, I'm a Knicks. You know me. I'm Knicks die hard, bro.
Right.
After 11 games at Duke, bullshit. I saw what I needed to see. After 11 games at Duke, you wouldn't tell me Kyrie Irving had all this talent, had one of the greatest college coaches at his disposal, and didn't use him. Dumbass.
Well, because he thought he already knew what he had to know when it came to basketball. You could tell, but that's how he thinks.
Yeah. Bro, we're talking about a flat earther here, man. So listen.
Why?
Man, I came real close to pulling this out. Because that sounds like something an Irvingologist would say. And when you said special wise, I came very close to saying Ed, but I decided not to. Oh my.
Oh man.
6 said,
you know what?
What's up, bro?
I want you to put that back up.
Okay. I will in a minute. Hold on a second. Hold that point, actually. 6 says, I want to see if PJ Callismo could sign up as head coach of the Lakers. This time around, he might put a roster in the chokehold.
Well, he didn't. He's the one who got put in the chokehold.
Yeah. He said, was that a bit too far?
So you might want to bring Spree on this so he can put the chokehold.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Sick also said, a question to the panel. Between Doc Rivers and Steve Nash, who got the worst out of that trade? Didn't they simply trade problems? Well, what I say.
Oh man.
What I say, Sick. What I say.
I think Doc got it worse. I think
Doc definitely got it worse. He gave up too much.
Yes. Listen, gave up Drummond, Curry, and 2 first-round picks.
Yeah.
But James Harden.
Yeah, Doc got it worse. He gave up too much. It's just that simple. They gave up too much just to get Harden. And then they get Harden to boot. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, they were talking about Harden.
Well,
They're saying, oh,
that's why Toronto's gonna. That's why Toronto's gonna beat the hell out of Philadelphia.
All right.
well, you saw the last time Siakam took him to I was about to curse, but he was about to take us to the whole. He took care of another game that they played.
Yeah.
Siakam's going to be a problem for them.
Yeah, he can be.
Mm-hmm.
He is going to be a problem for them.
Yeah.
And then you got Harden. Harden doesn't play D.
Yeah, Harden's a matador when it comes to defense.
So Fred VanVleet's going to have a. I'm picking Toronto to win that series.
All right, Brian. Yeah. All right, Brian. I'm about to set you up. I'm about to hit you with that Irvin Hodges image, bro. Here you go. Cook.
Hit me. So I had a conversation with an urbanologist.
Oh, Lord.
And this urbanologist actually believes that Kyrie is going to round in the form and take the Brooklyn mess to the World Championship Series. I looked at him square in the eye. I said, do me a favor. He says, what's that? Please stop the cap. How do you trust Kyrie Irving to get out of the first round? Stop the cap. I don't trust Kyrie to be a part of that team when they need him. And that's after the play-in round. And the Nets are lucky to get to the play-in round, quite honestly.
I'm surprised you didn't hit him with.
Bitch, are you for real?
But yeah, I agree with you. Look, all right.
I'll save that one for later in the week.
All right. I will give you this, Wise. Kyrie has the ability to be special. Yes, he does. The issue that I have with him,
Ed.
the issue I have with him is that what we were talking about with LeBron, it was this S word that we just kept throwing around all throughout the segment.
Selfish.
Yes. To me, the dude is egomaniacal, and it is to the detriment of the Nets. And that is why I really do not like the Nets to go all the way, because I believe he's an albatross. Because his interest is, for him, his self-interest is much more important than the team's self-interest. And as wonderful as he can wow and dazzle
Which
people,
is going to cost
the fact he can shoot threes, the fact that he can be clutch, he has the ability to be an absolute albatross to, in my opinion, the best player in today's game, and just throw all sorts of monkey wrenches in Durant's plans, in Nash's plans, and all of the other Nets. And because of that, the talent that he does display on the court is overshadowed by the rest of the other stuff that's off the court.
Definitely.
I'm sorry, Brian. What did you say?
Agreed.
Oh. Yeah. And that's the issue I have with Kyrie. And I believe that's the issue that my brother, too, has with Kyrie, too. Oh, what was that you said, bro?
I'm going to make a statement, and then I got to depart. Steve Nash is a sitting duck.
Oh, no, I don't want him to be a Frank Vogel East Coast.
Well, no, you can't say he's going to be a Frank Vogel East Coast.
Nash is screwed.
Damn! You think Nash is a dead in the water? You got to think about Doc Rivers, because now Harden wants D'Antoni in Philly.
Doc Rivers has.
Look, see, Brian. What did we say about Harden as soon as he became a Sixer that he was going to tank the team?
Yeah, he wants D'Antoni,
Yep.
and Daryl Morey is going to give it to him, because Daryl Morey waited all year just to get James Harden and give up the bank. 2 first-round picks, Andre Drummond, Seth Curry, for James Harden.
You for real? Which is why they never better ever wear those Spectrum uniforms ever again, because this team does not does not represent nor respect the teams that played at the Spectrum. And I have to step away. I'll be back in a little while.
All right, brother. Well, that voice you heard is 1/3 of this panel and 1/2 of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Brian Snow, he will be back a little later, giving you the fire that he always gives you, even in a convalescing state. Brother, it's always a great pleasure to have you, man. I with all that being said, I just know the Nets will, I won't say have an easy time, but I think they will not have much of a problem with the Cavaliers if they actually treat the Cavaliers as a threat. If they actually treat them as if they actually respect them as an opponent, I think the Nets will have a good run in this game, and they'll advance. They'll be the 7th seed, and then they'll lick their chops, hoping that they can knock off the Celtics. But
which is a possibility.
Yeah,
because if they click, if the Nets click, they have a possibility of knocking Boston out because they match up pretty well with them, especially if Drummond and Steph Curry are playing. Because Brooklyn does have some young talent on that team. They have some players. They didn't give up the bank to get Simmons.
that's the biggest positive.
That's the thing. That they didn't give up the bank to get Simmons. They got rid of Harden, who didn't really want to be there. And you already know when he doesn't want to be somewhere, he's gonna tank.
Mm-hmm.
So get rid of him. Yeah, you bring in Simmons, who's a headache in Philly, yes. And now he has this back issue, and they don't know if he'll be playing in the playoffs. But you did get something in return. You got a shooter in Steph Curry. You got a body in Andre Drummond. And then you got ammo in the draft picks if you decide to trade those in the offseason to bring more players in. Right. And you have some young, talented players.
All right.
Yeah, I like Cam Thomas. I like Claxton. There's some players there. They have some players. They have pieces.
Yeah.
Now it all depends on which Kyrie shows up. Kyrie from Cavs that won the title.
Mm-hmm. Kyrie.
Yeah. So it all depends.
Yeah, it's true. It does all depend. Six said tank them. Talking about Harden taking the 76ers. Harden is a septic tank. I will touch a little bit on the 76ers in the second hour. But he also goes on to say with Harden, he's toxic to any roster he's on. And the problem with him is that I think he believes that if he's on the roster at current, he's the number one player on the team. And even with the understanding that you have an MVP candidate in Joel Embiid, who, congratulations, big man,
won the scoring title.
Won a scoring championship. The first big man to do it since Shaquille O'Neal 22 years ago.
And he did it at 30 points per game.
And did it at 30 points per game, which that's really impressive. That's Wilt territory.
Yeah.
No
big man. Yeah, for a big man.
Yeah, Wilt territory, early Kareem territory. So I want to say that I really like the Nets past the first round. I think they had the ability to get past the first round. And of the teams that they could have faced, and I mean, the two teams that they can face would be the Heat and the Celtics. But if they were to win a night, they'll face the Celtics because they'll be the 7th seed and the Celtics are waiting in the number 2 slot. Yeah. I agree with you. I think the matchup does favor the Nets if they were to win the night and be the Celtics opponent. The only issue that I could see with that series, and we'll talk a little more in depth a little later this week about it, to me is if they could just simply slow down Jason Tatum. If they could just slow him down and not have him explode. Because if I believe he has 2 explosive games, like he did have one of them against the Nets earlier this year, we dropped 54. If he has 2 of those games in that series, the Nets don't stand a chance. But if they can contain him enough, I think the Nets do have the ability to knock off the Celtics because they do have the experience edge a little bit over them.
Yes.
Real quick, let's go to the West play-in round, the 7-8 matchup again. This time it is the Clippers going to the Twin Cities to meet up with the Timberwolves. I think I'll be blunt in saying this. The Clippers don't stand a chance.
Oh, no Kawhi, no Paul George?
Yes.
No.
Yeah. And
Listen,
that's
they
exactly
have no answer for Cat, first of all.
Yes. And those three things you just said, no Kawhi, no Paul George, and they have no answer for Cat.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no one there that's gonna stop Cat.
Yeah.
And then Anthony Edwards, he's another stud. That's another stud right there.
Man, he's a beast, and people don't talk about him.
He is a stud. And then again, like I said yesterday, I like D'Angelo Russell's game. He fits well with Cat.
Yeah.
And so they've turned this franchise around. They've really made this a franchise like, hey, like these are some young studs. I might want to come play here. It's Minnesota though, but hey.
You're not right for that. It's Minnesota.
It is, man. It's Minnesota. Really, what player really in their mind goes, hey, I want to go play for the Timberwolves?
Oh, Lord. Well, yeah, I know that it's not the biggest of destinations when it comes to the NBA, but if they're able to try to make this work the way they are making this work, then yeah. And I'm impressed with this team in particular because I didn't think they were going to challenge. They literally could have challenged for the 5th spot. I did not think they was going to challenge for number 5. They ended up being 7, but I didn't think they was going to challenge for the 5th spot because they were only 2 or 3 games from the number 5 seed. So they really decided to say, okay, we're going to put this together as a team. We're going to make this work, and we're going to put in that work. And then it definitely does not hurt to have the ultimate pest in Patrick Beverley. It does not hurt at all.
It does not. He can be annoying. Like I was watching some videos the other day, and a lot of it had Patrick Beverley in it, and having him just being a pain in the butt. And but he's that's the kind of player you want.
That's the kind of player you want and need.
Yeah. So I think the Clippers need him right now. They're missing him right now.
They are missing that presence.
Yes.
They had him, but they are
him.
missing him bad.
Yes.
And I think if they had him on this team, I think they probably would find other ways to win. But the way the Clippers are constructed now and the way they advanced to the conference championship last year, they did it on the power of George and Kawhi.
Not really so much Kawhi, because Kawhi was somewhat hurt last year as well.
And
they did it more on George. They did it more on Paul George last year.
I was going to say toward the end of the conference semifinals, it did lean more toward George, and that's why it was actually a good thing, because people were saying that Paul George wasn't able or capable of carrying a team, and he did in a big moment. So yeah, they don't have those two to carry them. They have to do it a collective way, and they're playing against a team that's playing collectively as a unit better. And I just can't see them doing anything in terms of being successful tonight. I would love to say the Clippers will upset the Cavaliers. Clippers will upset the Timberwolves. I just don't see it. I really don't.
Listen, you need you need a lot to really. You need Elgin Baylor to come out the locker room to have a shot. Because listen, I love Ty as a coach. Tyronn Lue, he's a great coach.
Tyronn Lue is awesome. Yeah, he's awesome coach.
But
awesome
like
coach.
when you're missing your 2 studs, your 2 key components, and you're going up against Cat, it doesn't look good. Just doesn't look good.
And Cat is finally finding the confidence to be a beast.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about him now. He now believes he can be one of the elite players in the NBA.
Oh, he broke out of that. He broke out of that bubble he put himself in, where he was afraid to assert himself. Dude, you're 7 foot.
Right.
You play defense.
Right.
You can shoot the rock.
Right.
Man, show off.
Right. I'm like, I mean, you could do whatever you want to do. Like you said, He's unafraid to play defense. He could shoot. He's unafraid to be in the post too. I'm like, well, cook.
Yeah, just do what you do, man. Play ball. That's what you get paid for, to play ball. Stop being afraid.
Right.
And that's what he's done this year. He's asserted himself. He's like, this is my team. As far as I go, they go.
Mm-hmm.
And he's had a great season.
Yeah. And I'm happy for him. I really am. All right. Well, this is the Snowman in the Morning with the Cole Johnson Show. I am one half of the team, Cole Johnson. Brian Snow is convalescing. He appeared earlier the first hour. He'll probably join us in the second hour. Maybe not. Along with my partner today in Wise El Jefe. We'll be back on the other side really fast.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up?
Garoppolo fires. It is caught. Still on his feet is Kittle with a big play and the stiff arm. George Kittle. Flags fly. He's down to the 30. What a run by George Kittle. Take it on, everybody.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Hey, this promises to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait. Are you kidding me? Do you believe it?
Hour number 2 of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson is underway. One half of that is here, Cole Johnson. Brian Snow is convalescing. Wise El Jefe, our normal Monday contributor, is here on a Tuesday. It is great to have you, sir, as always.
I love being here. This is fun. This is therapy for me, man.
Well, I know I can speak for Brian when I say that we love you being here. It's a wonderful. You are a wonderful addition, my man, and man, I love the fact that you can cook no matter what subject we bring. You cook. I love it.
Bro, I got to put this knowledge somewhere, man. It's like all those years of reading the paper and reading articles, sports magazines, and all these. It's finally paying off somewhat.
Yeah. Look, my wife actually brought this, Inside Baseball 10 years ago when I didn't really have the direction in going in this direction. She said, well, I don't know why you don't slide behind the mic and speak sports. I mean, you watch ESPN every day. You talk about it everywhere you go to people. You might as well speak about it. So, yeah, fast forward 10 years later, here's what I'm doing. So, yeah, I'm glad that reading box scores back when I was young and Sunday articles of the sports page, it's now paying off for me too. I'm glad it is now for me as well.
Listen, you know what it is? Every morning when I go to school, on my way to school, I would buy me the newspaper and I would turn to the back pages. Screw with the news with the front cover. It was always to the back, to the sports section.
Oh yeah.
And that's always, I've never really reading the paper but it's always been the sports section. When I that's where I start at. And if I want to go on, then yeah, maybe. But I always start at the sports section, man. That's where that's what I love to read, and so why not?
Yeah, it was the same with me. The only paper, and I'm blessed to work with them now. The only paper that I did not do that with was USA Today, because I would look at the weather first because I was just drawn by the map. And then I go to the sports section after that. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's just take the sports page. So yeah, I know the feeling, man. All right, so we talked about the NBA. We'll talk a little bit more about the NBA later on this hour. We will mention Major League Baseball 2 at the end of this hour too. I want to bring up this subject now. So you all know February 1st, Brian Flores, the former Dolphins head coach and now current assistant to Mike Tomlin of the Pittsburgh Steelers, on his staff, defensive assistant, I believe is the title that he holds currently. He filed a lawsuit against the NFL alleging bad hiring practices that the Shield employs. Well, it looks like there are 2 names that are joining with him in this suit. So you have Ray Horton, you have Steve Wilkes. They're joining along with Flores on the suit, and they have their own allegations in regards to discrimination in hiring practices, and that the NFL has little credibility to boot to fall back on in terms of saying, well, we can refute that.
Because it's continuously he said, she said stuff. Because you also have Mike Mularkey come out. You had Mike Mularkey come out and had the Titans tell him he had the job already prior to Mr. Horton interviewing for that position. And the Titans are saying, no, we hired our coach after we interviewed. Yes, you might have officially hired him after the interview process, but you already knew what direction you were going in when you interviewed these players. It was just a sham interview. You already knew you was going to go with Mike Mularkey. So don't come and say that, oh, we did no, man. And again, it's he said, she said, so it's going to be hard to dispute what both sides are claiming.
I am so glad you phrased it in that way, because we both know there's smoke here. We both know there is some smoke. And we both, and where there's smoke, there's fire. We both know. We both know the inferno it's been burning off in the distance. However, we also both know it's like what you just said. It's going to be, yeah, this happened, but I can't prove it. Because it's going to be juxtaposed to the NFL saying, well, look at our record. This team actually did abide by the Rooney Rule and interviewed a non-Caucasian candidate for a coaching job. And I have to dig deeper into the Rooney Rule, because I don't know if
they just added to it. So now you need to hire a minority or a woman onto your staff as far as a coaching or front office position.
Right. And ladies and gentlemen, that is how the NFL wins cases in court. They will do one thing. Well, I should say they will do to NFL, and I love football, and I love the NFL, actually. But I'm going to be blunt and honest here. There are two things NFL will do at all costs. That's win court cases and make that money. Because whatever slows the money train, they will try to nip it at the bud. And whatever makes their shield look bad, they're going to do whatever it takes to smooth those rough edges, because they will not, under any circumstances, want to look bad in front of the public.
But then if you're these coaches, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have plenty of ammo. Because
see, that's my problem right there.
Hold on. Let me give you an example.
Go ahead, bro.
I'm from New York, so you know I know New York sports.
Right.
Mr. Adam Gase. Hold on. Who was the coach of the Miami Dolphins? Sucked.
He was horrible.
Sucked. Yet, the New York Jets, after he gets fired, hires him. And he sucked in New York just as much. Why is it that this coach, who happens to be white, sucked as a head coach, gets 2 opportunities? 2. Where you have a coach like Eric Bieniemy, who's coming from a winning situation in Kansas City and can't get a job. You got the coach in the Texans that they hired last year.
Yeah, David Culley.
How come he only gets 1 year? Bill O'Brien got 4 or 5 years and they sucked. David Culley gets 1 year? Again, Jets. Todd Bowles gets what, 2-3 years?
If that. I think it was 2.
2 years, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But you stuck with Adam Gase for 3 years. It just blows my mind, man. It's ridiculous. How many years was he there? I don't even know.
Let me see.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. I'm trying to think. All right, so don't go name saying that he was there. Where? Hold on, here we go. All right.
Yeah, see, so we don't even know. We just it's just too much, man. It's like,
oh, here we go. Okay, so he was hired in 2015 as the head coach. All right. Oh, okay. 1, 2, 4 years? Really?
look at that.
Wow. Okay. I'm surprised. Okay. But I look at it this way. Oh, and before I do, Ben, good morning, sir.
Good
as
morning,
always.
Ben.
And Sick says the same to you, Ben. Sick also goes on to say, Gase probably had a few connections inside and pulled a car salesman act. Here is what, all right. Here is the connection that he had. And this infuriates me a little bit. He was considered the quarterback whisperer simply because he was the offensive coordinator at the time when Peyton Manning was in Denver. And since they went to 2 Super Bowls and won a championship, people thought, well, if Adam Gase could be this brainiac over a Peyton Manning, then that means he must be able to know how to run a team.
No, when you have a Peyton Manning in your locker room, he is adding value to you. It's not you're adding value to Peyton Manning. Yes, you're probably a good offensive coordinator, whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But let's get it straight, man. Peyton Manning is Peyton Manning.
Oh yeah, he's a stud. One of the best quarterbacks ever in the history of the NFL. Not even a question.
Yeah.
Not even a question. Coach on the field. He literally was a coach on the field.
Yes.
Juxtapose that situation to that of Jim Caldwell, where he was the head coach of a Peyton Manning-led team that they went to the Super Bowl with. Of course, they lost that Super Bowl to the Saints in 2009, but he was the head coach of that team, and he led that team to an AFC championship. He gets a job with the Lions. He actually does pretty good with them. Now,
Yes.
He doesn't advance, past the wild card round, but he actually did pretty well. In fact,
yeah, they had winning record.
In fact, the team and he had a winning record when he was there.
Yes.
But all of a sudden, the Lions brass said, "Well, I think the team is tuning you out. I think we need a new voice." So out he goes. In comes
Mike Patricia.
In comes the Patriot assistant Matt Patricia, and he lost more games than he lost more games in one season. No, he lost more games in. Let me see. He lost more games in
probably 2 seasons than 2-3 seasons than Caldwell did in his whole thing. Yeah, it's crazy.
No, yeah, lost more, and I think a season and a half or 2 seasons than Caldwell did his whole tenure with the Lions.
Yeah.
And they gave him chance after chance after chance, but everybody and their mama knew that the Lions just were not the same team under Patricia as they were under Caldwell. So, in my opinion, Gase got those opportunities because, well, he coached Peyton Manning to a championship.
Okay, yeah, but he goes to Miami
and messes it up
and flounders there, doesn't do anything there. So you telling me he deserves another? That blew my mind. Like, you're gonna get a retread of a coach that has not won a lick as a head coach. He might have won something as an assistant coach, and that's kind of asterisk because you have Peyton Manning,
right?
But as a head coach, you sucked in Miami, and that's just to go show you something. What they want to listen. They want to hire people that look like them. I get it. That's whatever. But you need to. Mm-hmm. So you need to give coaches that don't look like you an opportunity, because you might be surprised. Look at Mike Top. That's why I love the Rooneys.
Oh, I love them dearly too.
I love the Rooneys. They gave this man an opportunity, and he has rewarded them with being one of the best head coaches in the NFL, bringing you a title.
This is what I love about the Steelers. So I'm not the biggest fan of the team in terms of I root for them every Sunday.
No.
But in
Yeah,
terms
give
of
him yes.
yeah, but in terms of an organization, I probably have more respect for them than any other in the NFL because they all and seemingly the sons and grandsons believe in what Art Rundy II believed as well. And that was, well, any man deserves to have an opportunity. Any man, doesn't matter what color he is, any man deserves opportunity. And the whole family decided to put their name on that statement by introducing this rule to the NFL in saying that, okay, well, the rest of the league needs to not ignore non-Caucasian candidates for head coaching. And then they expanded it to front office positions. And now you just mentioned now it's you need to hire a non-Caucasian person. And I think they worded it as person, not male, but non-Caucasian person to be in coaching somewhere in your staff. The fact that they believe that is wonderful. And then to boot, they're about stability. If you don't believe me, they've only had 3 head coaches the Steelers have had since 1969.
Chuck Noll, Coward, Tomlin.
It is 53 years, 3 head coaches. So you can tell that they have a family understanding about business and they believe the best person fits the best job. And they will give the opportunity for any man to do what he has to do to make sure the program runs smooth. Here's what makes me laugh about how people think Tomlin doesn't deserve the position he does now. You've seen it, man. Every time the Steelers have a bad season, and when I mean bad, I mean they're probably like 2 or 3 games under 500.
Probably 7 and
in the
8,
middle of the
yeah.
season.
8 and 8, 7 and 8,
Mhm.
yeah.
As soon as that happens, the you need to fire Tomlin talk starts to happen. And I'm saying to myself, have you forgotten? You all have forgotten. Okay, well, I guess I guess I need to refresh your memory. The next season, Mike Tomlin has a losing one will be the first because he hasn't had one.
Mhm.
And you can say, well, he's only won 1 Super Bowl and he's only been to 1 Super Bowl. I don't give a crap.
Yeah.
He's had a winning season, or at least well, yeah, I think a winning
He's-
season. I don't think he's been 500. He's had a winning season every year.
No, I think he's been at
coach.
500. I don't think he's have a losing season. I
Okay.
don't think he's ever had a losing season.
Okay. All right, fair enough. I know for sure he's not had a losing season since he's been the head coach of the Steelers. But coaches like Andy Reid get lauded. Coaches like Sean Payton get lauded. Coaches like Doug Peterson get lauded. All those that I mentioned, they also won a Super Bowl.
Yes.
But all of them have had losing seasons to boot as well.
Mhm.
And that perception messes up everything else. It poisons the well when it comes to the perception of fairness in the NFL, and also when it comes to this lawsuit, because there's the smoke that we were talking about. You could see it, that if the perception is the guy's black, so he has to be perfect, that is a problem.
Yeah.
But that's hard to prove in terms of the paper trail of the NFL is complicit. Now, the NFL can easily say, well, that's the team that's complicit, and you need to make them accountable, and we need to make them accountable. But we, the Shield, doesn't believe that. That's what the Shield will do. But the NFL, they have an issue with diversity. They have a huge issue with it still.
They won't say they do.
2022.
They say they don't. They say they don't, but they do.
Yeah, still do. 2022. This would be their 102nd year in existence. They still have a diversity issue. 6 says Mike Tomlin has been consistent ever since he took the helm. Yeah.
Yes, he has, brother.
Yeah.
Yes, he has.
Yeah. He has. But you hear the talk that every time the Steelers start bad, and it's not every year, but every time the Steelers start bad and they have losing streaks, people are like, okay, well, this must be the end of the road for Mike Tomlin. And the team has tuned him out. And the game has passed him by. I'm like, this guy's only 50 years old.
Yeah, 50 years old, bro. And
What
it seems like
game-
he's been in Pittsburgh forever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like the game he passed him by.
It's just ridiculous, man. How coaches of color are not treated the same. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not given equal opportunities. They're not
They're not.
given in the same amount of time. You
They're
have
not.
2 bad seasons. They're ready to let. Again, David Culley's key. 1 year. 1 year. You gave Bill O'Brien how many?
Oh, I think at least 5 or 6.
And how many winning seasons did they have?
They had a
Matter of
few.
fact, okay, but matter of fact, you traded away your best wide receiver.
That's where I have the problem.
You traded away DeAndre Hopkins.
That's where I have the problem.
Come on now.
This is where the problem lies for me when it comes to Bill O'Brien. So he has the similar issue with him as with Adam Gase. And I think in part that's how people regarded Adam Gase. Bill O'Brien was the quarterback's coach at the time Tom Brady was in his prime. So people think, wow, all that success, he must actually know something about running an offense and running a team. And so he gets the opportunity, and it was 7 years for the Texans. So he gets the opportunity to coach the Texans, and
his problem was he thought he was Bill Belichick, and he wanted to do shopping. He wanted to do his own shopping for groceries.
Right.
Something like my coach that I love, Bill Parcells,
Right.
who believed in going shopping and getting his groceries. But you're not Bill Parcells. You're not Bill Belichick. You're Bill O'Brien.
And that's the problem. The fact that he felt as though that he could be the general manager as well as the head coach, that he got a chance to run all of it. And not only did he get a chance to do it, see, unlike the situation that Belichick has with Robert Kraft, because Kraft will call Belichick on the carpet for some things at times.
Yes.
Bob McNair / Cal McNair let Bill O'Brien run roughshod over this team. It was like the buck stopped with him, and the front office could not care less what happened on the field or what happened in the front office. Yeah. All they were doing, they were Diddy in Bad Boy for Life. The war if I write rhymes, I write checks.
Yeah.
That was the philosophy of the front office of the Texans when O'Brien was the GM and the head coach. And because of it, they needed to pull the deal that they did, and when they traded Deshaun Watson, because this team hadn't had a first-round draft pick in 3 years. They had to have a second-round draft pick in 2.
And that's where you build your team at, is the draft.
Yeah.
It's through the draft. And to trade away those assets, and listen, first of all, that DeAndre Hopkins trade was a robbery. It was highway robbery.
You know how you are with your Knicks. This I am with the Texans.
You gave up DeAndre Hopkins for David Johnson, who
a walkie body cast,
who had probably 1 or 2 good years,
yeah.
And you got him hurt. You didn't even get him healthy.
The best year he had was 2016, and he was injured 2 of the next 3. I mean, full seasons injured 2 of the next 3.
Yeah. And you give up one of the top 5 receivers.
At worst.
He is a top 5 receiver.
Yes. At worst, he is one of the top 5. Best.
At worst, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But for what? For nothing.
Yeah.
For nothing.
That and you let a first-round draft pick go for a second-round draft pick in David Johnson. Those moves
are bonehead moves.
Mess the Texans up, and they are bonehead moves. But they allowed that to go because it was excused because, hey, Bill O'Brien, they were winning divisional championships. They were winning division championships. They were going to playoffs. They were still winning games. And now we have this new shiny toy in Deshaun Watson. We should be good. No.
Deshaun saw the writing on the wall. He's like, man, I don't want to be here. Why would I want to be here? You just gave away my weapon. You gave up my number one stud for this guy.
Yeah.
That's not even going to be in the backfield with me.
Right. Yeah. Sad. 6 says, Black coaches and athletes are held to a ridiculously high standard. They have to be highly exceptional. It's absurd. I agree. Another thing about hiring certain coaches is this: perception is reality. True words were not spoken, bro. And that's exactly what it is. And I'll bring this point home before we go on a commercial break. Seemingly, it's about these coaching trees that bring the allure to these teams. It's like, okay, well, if the Patriots have this type of success, then we need to have that type of pixie dust sprinkled on our team. Hence why O'Brien was the head coach of the Texans, and how Romeo Crennel was partial head coach of the Texans and was the head coach of the Browns at one time. And 10-6, and did he get a chance to actually improve upon that year? Another Black coach that didn't really get an opportunity to shine at a head coaching position. Matt Patricia being the coach of the Lions. Josh McDaniel had an opportunity before the one he has now with the Raiders. The opportunity he had with the Broncos, bombed miserably.
Yeah, he backed out of the deal with Indy,
and then backed out of the deal with Indy. Yeah,
he backed out of the deal with Indy, and now he is the head coach of the Raiders. And listen, I don't have nothing against assistant head coaches getting jobs. Like,
I don't get it.
I understand.
Yeah,
but you have head coach. You have Eric Bieniemy, who's been run. Okay, I get it. But Reed said he makes the call, that Bieniemy's been making calls. So you have Eric Bieniemy, who's run a high-powered offense. They've been winning since Andy Reid got to Kansas City. And you don't give this man the opportunity to be the head of your franchise, because you have retreads out there that what? They have retreads that Josh McDaniel does not have a winning record as a head coach. He bombed as the Denver's coach.
Yeah. Bombed miserably.
Bombed. And this is someone people considered an offensive genius, an offensive guru.
Yeah. And for those who have forgotten his stint with the Broncos, he used his first-round draft pick that year he was on the team to get one Tim Tebow. Traded to get him. So that should tell you all you need to know about one Mr. Josh McDaniel.
Yeah.
Well, this has been good, man. It's been wonderful. But I think we need to take a pause for the cause. And when we come back, I was going to talk a little bit about Major League Baseball, but I got to mention Russell Westbrook once again.
Good morning, Andrew.
Morning to you too, Andrew. Oh, my goodness. Why, Russ? Why? We'll be right back.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
You're so right for me, and I'm right for you. I love the things you do, like sweet tasting wine. Your lips are so divine. Your loving turns me on. My lonely days are gone. That's why I'm never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go, babe. I'm never gonna let you go. No, no, never gonna let you go.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
If you can celebrate Christian McCaffrey having a 1,000 season, if you can celebrate Marshall Faulk, who had a 1,000 season by electing him into the Hall of Fame, then why can't we celebrate the guy who originated the 1,000 season with a Hall of Fame election? I'm talking about the one and only Roger Craig.
If you want some, come get some.
Welcome back to Snowman in the Morning.
And down the stretch we come on this Tuesday morning with Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. I am one half of that team, Cole Johnson. Brian is convalescing today and for the rest of the week. But joining me today is Wise El Jefe. So glad that you were able to join me, my man.
Oh, man, I'm glad I was here, too. I think I need to get sick every day from work.
Oh, man, and it's amazing you have not done this before. I'm thinking, man, something's wrong because you are a natural with this,
bro. When you find what you love to do, man, and I find that I love being behind the mic.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter what topic is. I consider myself a chameleon. I adapt to so many different environments, and so to find my voice and be able to do this and thrive at it, it's a blessing, man. I thank God for all of this.
Yeah. I thank God for you, and I thank God to do this myself. And I think we're similar in that vein. I think they put a mic in front of us and throw a topic up there. We'll probably try to hold our own in every single arena.
Yeah. So
yeah, I agree with that. I believe I'm that way as well. Look, I was going to talk about third baseman Alec Boehm letting off an F-bomb to Philadelphia, committing the second of his 3 errors.
Listen, I'm sure Philly has heard worse. I'm sure Philly has said worse.
Mm-hmm.
Because now I do reside in the state of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And we get a lot of Philly news stuff here. But yeah, like we're talking about a city that snowballed Santa. So I'm sure they've heard worse.
Mm-hmm. You're in the Poconos?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. I figured you'd probably be still not too far from New York City.
Oh, I'm not. I'm not. I'm probably an hour and a half away. So
yeah, that's I figured that. So yeah, you're probably equidistant. An hour and a half of
from Philly and from New York. Yeah,
and an hour and a half from Philly. Yeah.
Yeah.
The reason why I can talk a little bit about that is the area that I covered geographically is all of Pennsylvania, but part of it is the eastern part of Pennsylvania. And
Northeastern, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it was fun just to see see the reaction to those who who, who was privy to Alec Boehm saying I effing hate this place after he booted the second of his 3 errors. Because I'm like, oh, he's not going to be long for Philly if he's going to have that type of disposition.
No.
Andrew says, at least he owned up to a post game. That's why I can laugh at it. I don't want to poke fun at him. I just find it funny that this is Philly. This is the same place, like you said. They snowballed Santa, booed the Easter Bunny, and cheered Michael Irvin when he got injured. I mean, they're a passionate sports town, and they rightfully so ran away Ben Simmons. Oh, and while I'm at it, ladies and gentlemen, look, just whoever, if you have seen this man, please report in the Snowman in the morning. We got to know where he's been, because it's now 8 days shy of 10 months. We don't know where he's been, and we want to see him come back. Yeah, it's just do us that favor. Oh, anyway, well, back to the NBA. So Russell Westbrook, after Frank Vogel was let go.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
He opens up about the issues that handcuffed him all season long. So, after the bloom was on the rose this last off season, that he was going to be part of the lore that was going to bring the Lakers their 18th championship in franchise history. He felt as though he didn't quite fit in with the team, and he went on to say, quote, I think it's unfortunate, to be honest, because I've never had an issue with any of my coaches before. I'm not sure what his issue was with me or why, or I'm not sure why, but I can't really give you an answer as to why we never connected. When I first got here, the ability to be able to do what I was able to do for a team and organization, I wasn't given a fair chance. Close quote. And with that, the floor is yours, sir.
I'm looking around because who the heck? Let's. I'm like, okay, so, all right. So you don't understand why your coach had a problem with you. First of all, because you can't shoot. Second of all, you played like trash. Third, you don't play D. Should I continue? Should I continue to go on with the list of why your coach wouldn't want you? Because first of all, you're a mini LeBron without a jumper.
That's the
right?
problem. Yeah, that's the problem.
So you and LeBron both need the ball in your hand.
Right.
And you don't understand why the coach has a problem? It's because, like, he has two of the same players. Why? And you don't play D. You don't play D. It's not like you're known for your defense, because you're not.
Or if the offense doesn't fall, it doesn't fall this way, you know that he actually still can be reliable because he plays defense.
Defense, yes. Right. But you can't rely if he's not going offensively. You know he's not doing well defensively because he doesn't play defense.
No.
And Frank Vogel is a defensive coach.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't understand why this man had a problem. He didn't have a problem with you.
Right.
He had a problem with the situation. He had a problem with, hey, they could have got me 2 studs instead of they got me you. I would be upset too if I was Frank Vogel, if I heard I could have had DeMar DeRozan and Buddy Hield, and I got to stay with you. You who, when you was at OKC, yeah, you had a great run because you was the man at OKC after Presti decided that he wanted to stick with you over Durant. Then you go to Houston and think, I'm sorry, I know this hurts, brother. I know it hurts. Then you go to Houston to team up with another former OKC player and realize that you both can't have the ball in the hands. And there's only one ball. And both of these men are ball dominant guards.
Right.
So of course that's not going to work.
Right. It wasn't 2012.
And then because in 2012 Harden was coming off the bench.
Right.
So you didn't have to worry about him both of them having the ball because one was on the bench while the other one was playing.
Right.
Then you go to Washington. Okay, yeah, you was averaging a triple-double in Washington. Great. I think they made the playoffs. I think they did not.
Yeah, they got into the play-in round. They won. They needed 2 games. They got the 2 games they needed, and they advanced to the playoffs.
So you made the playoffs in Washington, which wasn't a bad situation because you could run the ball. You're the man. Bradley Beal doesn't need the ball in his hand.
Right.
I'm saying so you can run the show. You go to LA, and again, 2 ball dominant guys. AD doesn't need the ball in his hands. LeBron does. Brody does. So who it's like because you could tell when LeBron wasn't playing, Brody played his best games. And the moment you bring that dynamic back in, he becomes Westbrook again. Well, he's always been Westbrook, but he can't shoot for Jack. But
it's just if you commit more turnovers than you make shots, as a head coach, how could you not depreciate who you are as a player? I'm sorry. You're a point guard. Your goal is to be efficient with the ball.
Yes.
Your goal is to distribute and to get your offense in the right situation every time you're down on the floor, whether it's a fast break or a half court set. But if he sees that you like to dribble the ball all kinds of funky ways, and it rolls off your leg 1 or 2 or 3 times in a game, and then he sees 1, 2, 3, or 4 shots where you put up a shot and it doesn't even hit the iron, what is a coach like Frank Vogel supposed to think? Double, especially like what you said, Wise. If you're not going to put effort on the other end and be a defensive star of the team, because if you're going to help the Lakers in any way, shape, or form more than any other place that any other person could do, for the lone exception of a healthy Anthony Davis, defense would be it. And defense is optional for you, just like it's optional for LeBron, just like it's optional, if not even non-existent, for Carmelo.
Non-existent. Let's call a spade, man. It's non-existent with Melo.
And just like it is unfortunately now non-existent because he's aged, in Dwight Howard. You are that type of player where it's now, well, either he has to put forth a triple-double, or he has to score 30 points, or you're not valuable. And that is where Frank Vogel was thinking. That's why he said in the middle of the season, he wanted you to come off the bench. And that's why in one of those games, he pulled you in the third quarter and said you weren't going to play in the stretch drive, because he was seeing you make 1 too many mistakes to put the team in a precarious position in the first place.
Bro, how many shots how many shots does he have to take to score toward 30 points?
Him, probably at least 25.
And that's not what you want from your point guard.
Right. Exactly.
That's not what you want. And when he realizes that we want you here to facilitate, because you can pass the rock. We seen you. You have the assist. We know.
Yeah. He can drop dimes. Yes.
Don't focus on your scoring. Focus on the passing and defense. Because your scoring will come because you can't shoot. So you're gonna have most of your passes gonna come taking it to the hole.
And if he was that way offensively, that also would help the Lakers too, because you have a guy in LeBron who claims he wants to play off the ball more. You would give them the incentive to play off the ball more if you were a more willing distributor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Six said, "Is there an Amber Alert for Ben Simmons? He could be hanging out in the UK." I don't know. Good point, though. He also said that replace Westbrook with Muggsy Bogues, and the Lakers might have a chance at winning a game. As much as I would like to say as a joke, you actually might be onto something. I'll probably say take Muggsy Bogues today.
At this age in time, right?
At this age, no Benjamin Button. Not 30 years ago. I'll take Muggsy Bogues today, and he might stand a chance to win the game. And Six says, this entire Lakers roster is a sinkhole. And I'm glad you said that, Sick, because it almost gives you that opinion, that feel. Because in the article that I'm getting the story off of, it said that Westbrook then took aim at LeBron James and Anthony Davis for what he felt was duplicitous support for his game. He invoked the phrase that came up in the season, "Let Russ be Russ." And he said that while LeBron and Anthony expressed the thought, he didn't think they meant it.
Well, they probably meant it at first. And when they realized that, damn, we messed up because this dude can't shoot for lick. And he needs to have the ball in his hand all the time. And he's not running this offense as we would hoped he would have. And so they kind of lost faith in him. And listen, again, all this blame goes on Rob Pelinka for being a puppet and for the shadow GM LeBron for kielbashing the Hugh trade and whatever else stuff was going on. And yeah, it's just
oh yes, it's crazy. Six says, heck, replace LeBron with Robin for that matter. Bring in Mount Mutombo to replace Anthony Davis. It's ridiculous to see how we could see the holes in this team before they tipped it off opening night.
Bro, everybody was talking about like the first they're talking about their basketball IQ. Okay, yeah, you have a phenomenal basketball IQ on that team. I get it. But when the body is not willing or capable because you're 90 years old, and I'm exaggerating, but they some old players, man.
Well, I mean, they're the oldest team in the league, so that's the truth. I mean, their average age, I think, if I'm not mistaken, was like 33.
And where you compare to a team like mine, my Knicks is averaging 26, 27 years age.
Yeah, but I say, your team is on the other end, on the end of the spectrum. But but the reason why I really feel compelled to talk about this issue for certain is because I want to not disappoint LeBron. I don't want to disappoint him because back in August, 8 months ago, he tweeted the challenge for all of us. And if you don't remember the challenge, here it is. Keep talking about my squad, our personal ages, the way he plays, he stays injured, we're past our prime in the league, in time in the league, etc., etc., etc. Do me one favor, please. And I mean, please. Keep that same narrative energy when it begins. That's all I ask. # thank you.
And that's exactly what we're doing. We're keeping that energy, and we're gonna keep dogging you and riding you to probably next year.
Yeah. Because
the new season.
Because you said it, sir. Your team is slow. Your team is old. Your team is unhealthy. Your team couldn't shoot.
Can we go on? Like it's a plethora of things that
your team didn't want to even come close to even having chemistry. Yeah, exactly. Shall we all go on with what your team wasn't? And we called you on the carpet 2 months before the season began, when you all were wanting to throw ticker tape parades down Figueroa Street, thinking that the championship was already won before you even played a preseason game. it just makes me laugh, and seeing Westbrook being indignant still. And the one issue that I have with him, I don't have an issue with him as a guy, as a man. I don't have an issue with him as a player. Now, I do think he needs to tighten up a few things as a player, but I don't have an issue with him as a player. My issue with him is that he seems to think he is unassailable. He seems to think that he is beyond reproach. He seems to believe that he cannot be faulted for anything, and that he takes accountability for nothing. Like if someone dares challenge him on the fact that he can't hit a shot, that he either would be in a huff or he would want to challenge back the reporter in asking, quote, a dumb question, close quote, because he had the audacity to actually look at your game and say, you're faulty in this area. Why do you think that's the case? Why did you keep on shooting the ball when it just wasn't your night shooting? Why is it that you seem to turn the ball over more than you make shots? All of those are legitimate questions, but I don't know, and you don't know what you're talking about, and you suck as a reporter. Those are not the answers. The answer is, quite frankly, I'll say it for you, Brody. Quote, I have not worked on certain parts of my game enough, and it hurts the team, and I had to be responsible for that. Close quote.
Okay. So the effort that he put into dressing himself,
which he puts a lot of effort in.
Maybe if he put that effort into shooting a couple of jump shots after practice, or playing some defense, whatever it is. I don't know, man. It's like it's never him.
Right.
In every situation, has never been him.
Right.
I've done is come and do average triple doubles or whatever it is. And I give you your props. Yeah, you average triple doubles, but damn, how many shots you got to take, brother? You're rebounding your own shots.
Having someone say, well, do you feel your career is complete without a championship? Well, I'm already a champion. Why such the chip on your shoulder, dude?
A champion where? A champion? You're not an NBA champion. You might be a champion in life. Kudos to you.
Yeah.
Kudos to you.
And
you're a champion in life. Kudos to you.
Mm-hmm.
But when people play this game for us for chips,
right?
Ask Patrick Ewing if he wants a championship or he's happy with. Ask Barkley if he's happy with not winning the chip. Ask Malone Stockton. Ask these players, are they happy they didn't win a chip? Hell no, they're not. That's why they hate Michael Jordan so much. It's because he
denied them all.
He denied them.
He denied them all. Yep.
So to say, yes, you're a champion in life, I get it. But you're not a champion in the NBA.
Yeah.
You, my man, are, when you're not a champion, you're a loser.
Oh.
And I don't mean as a person. I'm just saying.
No. I know you know me as a loser.
Yes, you win games, but you haven't won big ones.
Right.
And again, if you tell me you're playing this game just to play this game and you don't want to win championships, then I don't want you on my team. I come from listen, I'm a Yankee fan. And yes, I expect to win every year. But I know I'm not going to win every year. But we get players that want to win every year. That's why you come to Pinstripes. That's why you go to LA. That's why you go to New England.
Oh. There was a post-game press conference where I think someone asked him the question, something to the effect of, do you think you're disappointing the Lakers fans because you're not playing up to the standard of the organization. Since they have the prestige of wanting to be a champion. And I think he answered something to the effect of, well, those aren't my expectations. I don't have any. And I'm saying to myself, you're a Laker. You lived in LA before you lived in LA when you were in college.
You're from LA.
You grew up there. So you know the culture of the Lakers. You saw championships roll one after another downtown LA. You mean to tell me you are unaware of the expectations that the Lakers have, which is championship or bust? You're unaware of this? I mean, it literally made me want to say to him,
cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Because I don't understand this. You know this about the team, and you grew up there. You played at UCLA. You have been in the league now more than 10 years. You, in the early part of your career, saw the Lakers win championships. You already know the deal, man. You already know the deal. But again, it's not you, right? It's the coach who doesn't know how to position you.
It's the coach who had it out for you, who didn't like you.
Yeah, the coach didn't like you. It's LeBron and Anthony Davis who they sarcastically said, "Let Russ be Russ." It's the rest of the team that seem to not really know how you should cook. It's the front office that doesn't really understand who you are as a person. It's the fandom that boo you, rightfully so, because you have dribbled them into losses, but they could take their butts home. In your words, sir, not mine. And you didn't even use the word butts.
Yeah.
It just has to come a time, man, where you have to look at yourself and say, doggone, man, I'm like a wrecking ball in this situation. And I can't be that anymore. And I don't know if he wants to not be that. I seriously don't. 6 says, I want to see the entire Lakers roster being interrogated by Bill Duke. You know you done messed up, right? You know you done messed up.
Yeah, right.
You know that collectively. Yes, I agree. 6 also says, this is the NBA. It's all about championships, not mediocrity. Yes, sir.
Yep.
That is, I believe, I don't say that I don't speak for Wise in this case. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate that. I don't claim that I speak for Wise in this case, but I think he agrees with me when I say that, because I totally agree with him that you can't be the player that you are now, claim that you're an elite player, and not take responsibility for some of these actions. You have to understand something. And let's get this out the way, sir. The reason why people chant West Brick, it's not because they want to disparage your name. It isn't that they want to simply throw a middle finger at your last name. No, man. It's their fans, just like Wise is, just like I am, although Wise is an analyst too. We're fans, and when fandoms see that you put up one shot after another that hits nothing but the back of the rim, or the back of the rim, or the front of the rim, or the back of the front of the backboard, or on the side of the backboard, or just straight air. You've been a member of the NBA since 2009. You know if a player plays bad, even if it's on your home floor, they're gonna let you hear about it. But when people chant West Brick, it's an insult to your name. No, dude. No, it's not. It's commentary to your game, man.
People are too sensitive now, man. Like, you cannot. It's like they're not trying to disrespect your family. They're trying to disrespect you for coming here and playing like trash. You disrespected them by bringing this garbage game,
and then not own up to it.
I'm saying you getting paid all this money, and these people are paying prime money to come see you play.
Yes, they are.
And you don't want them to be upset because you playing like trash? You can't listen. If those reports are true about the Lakers trying to trade you to New York, I do not want you.
Oh no.
I do not want you here in New York.
Oh wow.
Because you couldn't live here. Because you would be roasted every game.
Oh, the media would roast him. Forget the fans.
Oh, the media. That's what I'm saying. If you can't handle the media in LA, you definitely can't come to New York and think that you're gonna thrive. No. Ask my boy Melo. And Melo won games for us.
Yep.
But when it was time to go, they let him know.
Oh my gosh.
They let him know. Or when he didn't play well, they let him know.
Mm-hmm.
And you think, listen, Leon Rose, if you're listening, if you make that trade for this dude, I will hand over my fandom.
Oh no.
I will give it up.
Don't tell Leon and Worldwide West that. No.
Yes, I will give up my fandom if you bring this dude to New York. Especially for one of the situations that I saw, one of the mock trades. Listen, if you even consider trading RJ Barrett for this, I'm gonna be nice. For this dude, then I will trade him. I will give up my fandom. I will give it up. I will become a Miami Heat fan or something. I don't know, but I would Leon Rose. I will boycott the Garden until you get fired if you bring this dude in.
Oh my gosh! Wow!
Yeah, I don't want him. I do not want him on my team, and that's one of the reports out there. Is that, listen, New York, do not trade for him. You just saw what happened in L.A. I'm sure. First of all, we actually have some basketball minds in New York with Worldwide West and everybody else in the background.
Right.
LA has Rob Pelinka. So yeah, do not deal with that dude. Do not negotiate with him. Nothing. I do not want Westbrook here. We have Emmanuel quickly. Do not bring him here. Keep him in LA.
Oh my gosh. That is funny. I seriously can't picture Westbrook in a Knicks uniform anyway.
I don't want to picture Westbrook in a Knicks uniform. Don't want to picture it. Do not want to picture it.
Oh my gosh. Six says Westbrook needs to own up. He's in denial and set in his ways. Yes, I agree with that. I know Wise does too. Look, this is when I saw that article, all I kept thinking was this dude just doesn't get it. This dude just does not want to take accountability for anything. It's everybody else's fault but his. And you want to like the guy because he actually shows when he's on the court, he gives effort. There is no complaint about it.
There's been no question. Look, there's been no question about his work ethic.
Yeah.
No, he comes in balls. He does.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
But dude, know your limitations. Know that you're not a jump shooter. Stop shooting the rock.
Right. Yeah.
You know you're not that great defensively.
Mm-hmm.
Start working on your footwork sometimes, man. Like try to work. Like, hey Frank, let's sit down and show me a couple of some defense how we can work this and make this that. Yes, I play some type of defense.
Yeah.
We use my abilities so somewhat whatever. But when you just don't see that you're not to blame for any of this,
right?
Then you're in denial. Yes, you're in denial, bro. Give it up. Like you need some work.
Yeah.
And it's okay if you go seek help. It's fine. People do that nowadays. It's okay. No longer stigmatism. You can go seek some professional help if that's what you need or whatever to get you over whatever it is that makes you think that you're not to blame for none of this, because you have partial blame.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to put the whole thing on you.
No.
But you got some part of, bro, you got some of it. Some of the blame has to fall on your shoulders.
Yeah.
Or they let me be you. Well, being you then wasn't the answer.
Yeah. Because, along with those 10 assists, there's times you turned the ball over 10 times in the same game. I mean,
I have 10 assists, but you also had 12 turnovers. Or had 11 rebounds. But how many times did you dribble the ball and fall off your leg and like you said before and go off like Or yeah, I had 12 rebounds. Well, you missed 15 shots.
Yeah.
You probably grabbed 12 of your 15 misses.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I can easily talk about this issue all day long. You want to support the show? Well, then go to patreon.com/SIT morning and you can do just that. You will see some behind the scenes footage and you get some extra takes too from us as well. That is patreon.com/SIT morning. And unfortunately, I would love to continue this, but that's all the time we have. Man, Wise, thank you again. And tell the people where they can find you.
Well, you can find me on all major platforms, Stuck in My Mind Podcast, and on YouTube at Stuck in My Mind Podcast. Check out Brian's. If you can't see us, if you're away from your computer and you want to listen to Snowman in the morning, check out realwiseradio.com. We have the app as well if you want to download the app. And yeah, just support, man. We're just trying to build something amazing at the radio station, and I'm glad that we have Snowman in the morning to be that flagship show.
Yeah, well, we're glad to be a part of that network, and we're glad that you're part of the show. And Sick, you have a great day too, my brother.
Peace out, my brother.
One as well for you, bro. Yeah, that's all the time we have. Thank you so much for joining us. On behalf of Brian and for Wise El Jefe, I am Cole Johnson. I'm wishing you right now, take care, God bless. And always remember, make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, then they're not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. You just heard Wise. He's dreaming bigger and he's doing bigger. Brian just came from doing something bigger, and he's going to do even bigger. So am I. We hope you are too. For all of us here at Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson, so long, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in to Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson, the hottest of hot takes and the coldest of cold, hard facts.